Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode of FitzRupee Cast featuring Dawn of War 2, the Elite mod. Red-Rupee here calling the shots for you tonight as always. And we have a great 2-on-2 match here on Biffy's Peril Redux, which is a Dawn of War map remake from the original Dawn of War. Relic tended to name their maps after some of their developers. They had Biffy's Peril, of course. They had Fraser's Demise. I actually got to work with Mr. and Fraser when I was at Big Huge Games on Kingdoms of Amalur, and Ben Schneider as well, both of them from working on Soulstorm, lead and senior designer. I also got to work with Sean Dunn, who was from Company Heroes and all that stuff from the old Relic. Anyways, sorry, this is a tangent. This show isn't about game industry stories. This is about Dawn of War and 40k. Let's introduce our players. On the red side, we have Atlas as the Inquisitor for the Imperial Guards, along with the Hive Tyrant for Reaver. And then we have two onerous brother captains leading their Grey Knight forces full of gravitas. Mr. Cowboy alongside of Whitehead for the blue team. We've got standard openings for the Grey Knights. The meta right now is kind of just triple Stormtroopers into whatever other big stuff you can bring on later in the game. And I guess we have Hive Tyrant and the Guardsman. I guess last time we had sort of an awkward alliance between humans and Tyranids. I think I surmised that maybe the Space Marines had fallen under the rule of the Hive Mind. Maybe it's the other way around this time. Maybe there's an Inquisition on these Grey Knights, and the Imperial Guard have some sort of psionic device replicating Hive Mind orders, telling the Hive Tyrant that the Grey Knights need to be devoured and eliminated. I don't know. I'm terrible with lore, man. I don't know anything about 40k fluff. Let's talk about the game. I know more about that. We've got double Sentinels coming out here for Atlas. That'll be fun to see if he can use them well. I always get scared when I see double Sentinels that they're just going to get obliterated right away. So hopefully he can keep them into the late game because they're so useful. If you can keep them alive, just keep them up. We've got full gen farms down for blue. We got not quite yet for red. Blue does control both of the contested nodes on the far sides of the map, though. You can see the VPs are kind of split across one axis on the X here, and then on the other axis you have the contested power farms. Hormagaunts getting obliterated by all of these Stormtroopers. There's six squads of Stormtroopers on the field between the two Grey Knights right now. And the Stormtrooper is very frail. Ooh, one getting knocked through a stone pillar right there by the Hive Tyrant. That's gotta hurt. These guys, taking heavy losses, and down they go. Hive Tyrant takes down a full squad. We've got a second squad over here, upgraded with the grenade launchers already, so that'll be really good, I think, against both the blobby squads of both the Imperial Guard and the Tyranid forces. We really want to be minimizing the losses on these Stormtroopers. I know that's kind of a redundant thing to say, as you want to minimize losses on any squads, but man, these guys can fire from so far away, and they do some nice long-range bursty DPS that you really shouldn't be taking a lot of wreck loss from them. And the thing is, with Imperial Guard, with Grey Knight, you're kind of wanting to just get these guys out and then save up your wreck for bigger squads. We've got a Rhino coming out here right now for Whitehead. We've got Purgations on the field with those nasty, nasty blue flame incinerators. Definitely going to be a big pain for these Terminators. Something to keep in mind, actually, it's as much as I love these custom maps, some of them do have some glitchy situations. And if you'll notice, up on the center VP, squads cannot fire up to the top of this platform at the top of these stairs unless they are also up the stairs. So that's going to be another advantage to having those grenade launcher guardsmen, is that they will be able, since they don't need line of sight, they will be able to fire up here, something the red team will have to keep in mind, since you generally tend to think you're safe up there from range fire. Grenade launchers and Stormtroopers doing tons of damage to these Sentinels. Red team managed to get one of the contested nodes back up top, and they have their natural gen farm nice and healthy. This is one of those maps that can go really quick or really slow, depending on like how the players are kind of prioritizing here, because the victory points are so far out of the way that even if you lose your natural point, it's so far back to get it that you risk even losing your power farm right in front of it. So we'll see how this plays out. Right now, the red team has had perfect control of the VPs, 500 to 450. Looks like the blue team might be getting that central one here as we speak. Captain with two squads might want to move those guys around Cowboy. Looks like he's probably moving them together. Just like, speaking of moving them together, it looks like these Sentinels are moving together because they're clashing against each other. Oh my gosh, look at them just bumping into each other like must be Stormtroopers driving those things, not used to dealing with those vehicle controls. One's getting very low. but they force off the Brother Captain with all that combined fire. Cowboy heading into Tier 2 way ahead of everybody at this point. Doing pretty great so far and controlling things. A little nice special attack taking out that trio of Stormtroopers, just sending one lone Stormtrooper back home. And then, oh man, triple grenade launchers now. Gonna be doing crazy damage to all of these Guardsmen. Volley there, not quite knocking any of them over, but forcing them off for the time being. Cowboy leading the charge in the tech race. Atlas is going to be not too far behind him. Hive Tyrant already upgraded pretty well here with the Rending Talons and the Extended Carapace. Going to be similar to the Warboss in that he'll be able to charge in and then do that stomp. His is more of a roar that knocks everything back. Atlas claiming this is an odd game already. I think it's pretty standard so far. Nothing too out of the ordinary. This is kind of how Grey Knights play. Maybe he's just not used to playing Grey Knights right now, but that Hive Tyrant chasing down that Rhino. Man, that's scary. I'd be backing away from that too. Almost gets himself caught on some tank traps, but manages to maneuver himself out of that. Hive Tyrant's going to get forced off by all of that focus fire for the time being. Purgation Squad getting counter-suppressed here by the Warrior Brood. They've been doing some damage to those Termagants, I'm sure. We've been missing kind of a lot of what's been going on here. Everything's been so constant up top. Brother Captain getting into a tussle here with these Termagants, but they're not going to be able to deal with that. Brother Captain doesn't do too much on his own early game. He's kind of like the Chaos Lord. His base attacks don't really do a lot. I think he does somewhere around 30 DPS, which is kind of middle of the road for a melee hero. Unending Purge on him, which will give him some increased speed and regen when he's on low health. Heading into Tier 2, let's see, Cowboy doesn't have anything on the way yet. Rhino getting very low over here with the Imperial Guard. Both those Sentinels and the Inquisitor. Oh no, it goes down and crashes right into its own outpost right there. Inquisitor managed to get that crossbow bolt pistol just in the nick of time to finish off that Rhino. All that focus fire. He chased it on home with those Sentinels, Guardsmen, and Inquisitor, doing lots of damage. Good thing to get rid of that Rhino. That makes these Inquisitorial Stormtroopers a lot easier to deal with since they can't hop in and out of that thing and keep it repaired. Kind of more the strategy you'll see from Imperial Guard is kind of what the Grey Knights do in Tier 1 these days. And everything kind of falling back for the Reds as we head into the mid-game here. Everybody's heading into Tier 2. Atlas bringing a Chimera onto the field. Red Team does have a second full gen farm, however, and that's going to be really great for them. Keeping that tech advantage since they do have a few more VPs, but the VPs pretty much neck and neck at this point. No VPs going anywhere as the center point is uncaptured and the two natural points in their respective side. Purgation Squad upgraded with those sweet side cannons now doing explosive damage. They'll do full damage to all damage types. However, getting assailed by some Hormagaunts. Hormagaunts not quite focusing. They let the Brother Captain escape, and then instead of focusing on the Purgation Squad, they hit up that Strike Squad. Cowboy kind of rushed into Tier 2, but then didn't really do a lot with it. I mean, he got the side cannon upgrade, but then he got himself a Strike Squad. I always wonder, when you go into Tier 2 and your first purchase is a Tier 1 unit, maybe you should have stayed in Tier 1. He could have gotten that Strike Squad out here earlier and had better map presence instead of rushing into Tier 2, but I guess then he wouldn't have those side cannons. So just something to keep in mind when you're heading into Tier 2. Do you need to go to Tier 2? Do you need that extra squad on the field? Always something to consider. Some pretty deft play with these Sentinels so far from Atlas. Now getting those stomps, man. The stomps will keep this Brother Captain really out of the hair of the Guardsmen. So long as he can keep those Sentinels up. Actually, Cowboy's Brother Captain hanging out with the Nemesis Force Halberd. I'm sure we'll see that do some nasty damage. As I was saying earlier, the Brother Captain has low, kind of mid to low DPS early in the game for a melee hero. Plus, he's kind of big and slow and doesn't get into too much when he doesn't have his battle cry activated. But, man, as soon as he gets any of his weapons, the sword, the halberd, or that power hammer, man, his DPS, I think, doubles and even triples with some of those weapons. Maybe even more than that. I think, oh, man, a quick, clean kill on a Inquisitorial Stormtrooper squad there by the Hive Tyrant and his Hormagaunts. Triple grenade launcher is going to come in and scare off these blobby Nids, but the Imperial Guard are moving in on the flank. We've got that sweet Razorback, though, with the last cannon, or sorry, the Rhino, rather, not the Razorback. with the las cannon, that little front-mounted turret with that little space marine there, so the Rhinos aren't completely defenseless when they come out of the gate here anymore. Big Hell Fury strike coming in. Valkyrie dropping some fire right on top of those guardsmen. Not going to do too much, though, as they can just reinforce off of that Chimera. Hive Tyrant in the thick of everything right here. I don't think he has... Oh, he does activate the Roar, but everything had hopped in the Rhino just in time. Rhino actually will only be able to hold 2 squads for the time being, coming up in the next patch. I think they recognize that everybody's going to triple guardsmen, so kind of Kelpers kind of wants to switch it up. Got to be careful right here. We've got the Rhino right there. We've got the Purgation Squad with the Psycans. Oh, we've got another Hellfire Strike. Oh, the Rhino goes down. I think we just lost 2 squads of guards. No, they're still alive, but they're going to have to retreat through the fire. Oh, what a play. Perfect timing. Put it a little behind the squad, forced everything to move up. Wow. Suddenly, Atlas sitting on nothing but a pair of injured Sentinels with no guardsmen to fix them up. 456 to 383 right now. The red team has time to bring it back, but that was just a huge loss for Atlas. That was brutal. Oh my goodness. Hell Fury strikes from above. Tyrant Guard now out here on the field. Cowboys bringing a Dreadnought out as well. Been seeing some nice use of the smoke grenade there too. Don't see that used too often, but that does provide a little bit of support there, allowing those guys to tank a lot more range damage. Brother Captain teleports in, but of course he's just going to get the big old ground pound. Those Sentinels really not scared of melee at this point in the game unless there's more than just a bro-cap hero moving in on the position. A lot of Tyranna formation going on around here. We've got Capillary Towers up. We've got the Brood Nest in the back there, allowing the Tyranids to reinforce without having to fall completely back. Brother Captain looks like, yeah, he's going to get out of there. Those Hormagaunts in hot pursuit, but not quite going to finish it off. Sentinels still harassing, but they got to be very careful with this Rhino moving in. However, Ogryn squads with the Bonehead activate their charge right there. Gonna put a lot of pressure on that Rhino. The Rhino can turn and fire, take them out pretty easily if it chooses to, but of course on the move it's just going to be focusing on whatever I think is closest to it prioritizes. And now going to start kiting around these Ogrins on their own. Looks like the Tyranid's going to try to take out some power over here on this side of the map. We got Venom Broods, we got Warrior Broods, we got the Dreadnought moving out here as well. Meanwhile, up top, we got Ogrins coming down. We got rocket launchers on the Sentinels now. Those are going to be really great. Oh, Inquisitor actually upgraded to the Interrogator's armor. Dreadnought doing... Oh, man, there's too much going on, man. Sentinels dropping missiles into that Rhino suddenly. Man, we're seeing really what they're going for in Tier 2. Oh, my gosh, that hammer's obliterating the Sentinel. Nice use right there. We have the crossbow bolt, the crippling volley. Sorry, I always get those two mixed up. They both do almost the same thing. Rhino just barely escaping those Sentinel missiles right there. Nice work of using these 2 Sentinels to keep that Brother Captain incapacitated while the Sentinels fix up. Man, excellent work. Managed to heal up the Sentinel. I thought that thing was going down. I'm glad to see it survive, though. I love seeing good Sentinel play, man. It's so much fun. These things are such a huge boon later in the game if you can keep them up. They've got those stuns as we've been seeing to keep the Brother Captain under control. They got those anti-vehicle rockets, which is really putting some pressure on that Rhino. And it looks like that Dreadnought didn't quite survive the engagement down here. Looks like there might have been some kind of big scuffle. That Tyrant Guard is very beat up. Hive Tyrant over here as well. Looks like he's fallen back for the time being. Realizes he's right in front of the Grey Knight outpost. And he doesn't need to be doing anything like that in the face of all those sort of things. 321 to 436. Oh, we've got a bunker coming down for Atlas. I'm sure he's going to upgrade that to a repair bunker, no question. Oh, another missed opportunity by the Rhino. That Sentinel escapes just barely. Now they're blocking some line of sight. Inquisitor moving in on the far side. Repair bunkers up. These Sentinels are going to start fixing themselves up passively and dropping rockets right into that Rhino. And that's a really good choice, I think, by Atlas, recognizing that he had lost all his guardsmen. Sentinel now moving in to get the stomp down, but he had just activated his big old knockback. I forget what that's called, as demolishing strike. I was going to say devastating. That's pretty close. But Sentinels now just dropping rockets on into that brother captain. They're pretty inaccurate against heroes, though. He needs to switch over to the anti-infantry rockets if he wants to do any damage to them. But even those don't do a lot to heroes. Be great for this stormtrooper pile, though. 2 rockets going in again. Wow, a little bit of splash damage hitting those guardsmen, or sorry, stormtroopers that were sitting a bit too close as well. Man, what's going down on the bottom? Not too much right down here. I want to watch these sentinels. I'm going to be honest. I want to see what these sentinels are going to do. The blue team is down by about 200 DPs. They really need to get it together. They're both in tier 3, however, though, and they're going to start bringing out all those Grey Knight Terminators, and that's going to be a big thing that the red team's going to have to deal with. I think they have the tools to deal with it between Plasma Guardsmen and all this disruption that the Inquisitor and Sentinels can provide. I think they can deal with those guys pretty well if they choose to. They just have to make sure that they recognize the tier 3's coming, and that with tier 3 for Grey Knights comes lots of Terminators. So get that Plasma, get everything you can to deal with those guys, because they're coming. We've got 2 strike squads, actually. Man, Cowboy, I don't know if he has those on Overwatch or what, but man, get some Termies, fella. But it looks like blue team kind of gave up some map control to get into tier 3. They stole the gen farm up top back for themselves, so they're sitting in tier 3 with plenty of resources right now. Brother captain looks like he's gonna find himself going down for Cowboy. Man, that Razor, that Rhino rather, just needs to kill this thing. I think he was trying to decap it, but instead he should just take it out with that las cannon, that top-mounted las cannon. I think he can take it out in just a few shots. Getting some support now, fire support coming in from Cowboy's Purgation squad. We've got a Manticore on the field for Atlas. I don't think I like that decision, though. Everything's kind of mobile. There aren't really any setup teams. There's Terminators on the field, which could teleport in and take it out if he's not paying attention. I think he should have gone tier 3 and probably gone for a Lim and Russ at this point. Or maybe even just another squad of guardsmen so he can get those plasmid up. And if he can provide some supporting fire to keep these Inquisitorial Stormtroopers away from that Rhino, he'll be able to take it out a lot easier. But anyways, down bottom, we've got Tyranid Warriors moving in. We've got, oh gosh, these Paladins aren't going to care about any of that. They're just wading right into everything. They don't care. They know all they need to do is get some Synapse Backlash Bombs on these Warriors, and that'll send the whole Nid army running with their tails or whatever appendages they have. Yeah, they have tails mostly, tucked between their legs. Oh man, we've got the first Landraider Crusader out here as well. We've got a Rhino taking fire up here, and oh no! Oh, Atlas just returned the favor. He says, "You destroyed my transport and 2 scouts." Or squads. Oh, look, they're just falling from the sky. Oh, wow. Wow. Oh, my jeez. That is completely ridiculous. Tyranid formation going down here. And, oh, there's no Nids around, though. Tyranid formation is not a fire and forget ultimate, unfortunately. I think that's a misplay there by Reaver. Oh, we've got another one. I want to catch this one. I want to see that sweet Thunderhawk drop off the Landraider Crusader, man. That thing is so pretty looking. Look at it. Oh, so pretty. Oh, I just want to see that thing do something cool. There must be a real air superiority war going on here between Hell Fury strikes coming down from the Valkyries, Thunderhawks dropping in Landraiders. Red team really needs to get control of the skies, is what I think. But of course, that's just being silly. There's no real air battle in this game. Nids now moving back out onto the field. As I was saying, like, the Tyranid formation is kind of 500 red wasted here. It's not going to do a lot to this Landraider Crusader. You can see by the time they got out here, it was already healed up. You really want to use Tyranid formation as a kind of line breaker, allowing you to move in. Another Hell Fury strike coming down here. This Landraider getting perilously low already, taking Venom Cannon shots from both the Carnifex and the Warriors, taking Manticore barrages. Hive Tyrant getting tons of focus right here, and down it goes. The Landraider Crusader, I would say, is arguably probably the most powerful Landraider. It doesn't have the anti-vehicle capabilities of the Phobos, but it is both tankier and deals a lot more DPS than its Space Marine Redeemer counterpart. I think despite having the Hurricane Bolters mounted on the side, both the Assault Cannon and the Melta do more damage than the Space Marine equivalent as well. It also, of course, regenerates both energy and health for the squads around it. And these Hurricane Bolters actually, as we saw with the Terminator engagement, do courage damage as well, so they can suppress with focus fire. We're still seeing the usefulness of these Sentinels at this stage in the game. Just constantly dropping rockets in. We've got a heavy weapons squad also doing a lot of damage. More Manticore shots coming down. Both these Landraiders getting way low on health at this point. We got Cowboys sitting pretty low in the center. Both teams have lost most of their Stormtroopers. You can see Cowboy recognizes that. He's going to have to get his squad out here to do something about that because he's got nothing to fix up those Landraiders. They're going to need a lot of infantry support if they want to stay in this game. However, the blue team's held this central victory point for quite a while, and they're finally starting to close that VP gap. Another demolishing strike knocking those Ogrins back. I really think he should just not be approaching the Brother Captain with the Ogrins. Use the Ogrins to go after something else, after the Stormtroopers, maybe force some focus fire from that Landraider Crusader. Strike squad getting forced off here for Cowboy. Surprised he didn't get any Terminators on the field yet at this point. Man, all these armies really starting to look big. Whitehead doesn't have a lot, but he does have these Paladins. He had lost everything except these Paladins after losing that Rhino and instantly getting obliterated by a Manticore strike. Oh man, look at the Sentinel actually blasting away at these. Ooh, man, another good Health Fury strike. We've seen a lot of Health Fury strike. I think these rockets will pretty consistently hit these Terminators actually. Let's see, yeah, for 100 damage. He did lose one of these Sentinels, unfortunately, already to that Landraider Crusader. Now moving back once again into the safety of that bunker, but he needs to get him out of there. He gets the stun off. He needs to move this Manticore back too. Those Terminators aren't too far away. Crusader's moving in as well. Oh no, the second Sentinel goes down. That's both of them down. Oh, I wanted to see them last till the end of the game. Oh, Terminators teleporting in right behind that Manticore. Manticore's going to go down as well. Oh, suddenly things have turned around for Atlas. Lost both his Sentinels, lost his heavy weapons team, lost his Manticore, and there is not a lot going on there. At least on the flip side, Cowboy has lost his Landraider, so there's only one Landraider Crusader on the field, and the VPs are just about even up now. Red team finally starting to fall into the deficit themselves as Whitehead brings yet another squad of Terminators out onto the field. Hive Tyrant getting the Crush Claw, recognizing they need something to deal with this Landraider Crusader. I think this is a great opportunity for a flank here on this land. Oh, I think this is the wrong direction. He should have gone this way, gotten it behind the Crusader, kept it from being able to retreat back home very easily. As right now, but the Venom Cannon should keep moving forward. Don't let that thing get out of your sight. There's unfortunately not a whole lot of anti-vehicle on the field. Inquisitor's been doing such an awesome job of using both Assail and the Crippling Volley to lock down these Paladins and just focus them down. Crusader getting away. I think the Venom Cannon and the Carnifex should just turn and started opening fire on these Paladins. But I don't think that Carnifex is going to be able to deal with them on its own. Venom Cannon's now getting suppressed by those Hurricane Bolters as the VPs are starting to even back out. Red team now has the central once again. Carnifex is going to head back home and heal up. Atlas man still sitting in tier 2. He needs to get himself into tier 3. He's sitting on a huge pile of red resource. He could be doing some rocket runs. He could be getting some tanks on the field. I don't think tier 2 is where you want to stay as Imperial Guard. But man, these Terminators are going to be kind of unanswered for the time being. The Ogrins can't really tangle with those, and with only one squad of Plasma Guardsmen, that's just not going to, that's not quite going to be the DPS they need to take them out. Oh, we've got normal Terminators here using the Holocaust ability, kind of similar to the Farseer levitation field. It lifts units in an area and then slams them down. Brother Captain goes down once again. Taking lots of fire here. Everything getting suppressed by that Barb Strangler Warrior Brood. Needs to get on those side cannons though before they start obliterating those warriors, but the Paladins wading in once again. They don't care. They're not concerned with Tyranids. Strike Squad is getting a bit low for the time being though. Oh my gosh, these Terminators, man, these Terminators. Talk about they shall know no fear, man. They're just heading straight in. No reservations against those Tyranid forces. Brother Captain gets lifted up by his other brother. The other brother Captain. The bro caps. High-fiving each other all day back at the Grey Knight frat house. Terminators kind of stalling out here a little bit in the middle. Not really accomplishing too much. Oh, and getting paralyzed there by the Inquisitor. Lots of plasma out here on the field. Another Hell Fury strike. So much fire this game. Oh my goodness. Burninate everything. Another, crippling volley, catching a whole lot of stuff. Man, if he had the Manticore now, this would be the perfect time to drop it. I guess that's what he was going for, was he did have those two immobilizers, so he was figuring the Manticore would synergize really well with that, but we're seeing that, man, right now his lack of Tier 3 is really hurting him. 197 to 197, still all tied up. 25 minutes into the game. Ogren's getting very low, though. I think they will escape, but just barely. Oh no, the Terminators had their teleport. I spoke too soon. 30 HP, but they do turn and focus on this Carnifex, possibly mistakenly. I'm not sure if they had the range firepower to take him out or not, but they may have been able to do it. Anyways, Grey Knight's still camping around the center here with this Crusader that the red team just has not been able to take out. Managed to make short work of the initial one without too much issue. These Stormtroopers just hanging out three Guardsman infantry squads on the field now. I think once they all get upgraded to plasma, they'll definitely be a force to be reckoned with for these Terminators. These Terminators kind of sitting out here. I think they have been bleeding a model or two here and there, which is really all you need to do at this point. The Reds have managed to take all of the power farms, only the one natural left for the Blues, so that will prevent them from getting too much power income, but at this point they will be able to buy some more stuff. So long as they can keep that bleed going a little bit on these Terminators, though, they will be able to stall out, keep the Blues from getting out any more Terminator squads and spamming that any more than they already have. Vindicator Assassin coming out for Cowboy. Going to be bringing a little more anti-vehicle support for the Grey Knights to keep these Carnifexes off their backs. Once again, we're seeing these Grey Knight oh my gosh! Oh, Guardsmen and Ogrins everywhere. That might be it for the Ogrins. I think maybe they'll escape again. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Teleport just in case, but that's Ogrins down, leaving nothing but squishy infantry left here for oh no, another Hellfire Strike! There's been so much! Oh, these Guardsmen in a lot of trouble. If those Terminators turn and engage, that's gonna be it. Oh, another Assail! Oh, saving that 4 HP Guardsman squad just barely. Oh man, such great inquisitorial nonsense going on here. Man, the Inquisitor is such a huge pain in the butt. This Carnifex with the Venom Cannon not gonna be able to deal with both the Terminators and the Brother Captain. Looks like Inquisitor, tried to get another spell down on these Terminators. It looks like, Reaver wasn't quite paying attention there and throws his Carnifex away to the Terminators. Landraider Crusader moving in up top once again. Brother Captain with his strike squads and purgation squads moving in on everything. They're kind of overshooting there. I'm not sure where the purgations are going. They need to turn and fire on those Venom Cannon warriors, but it looks like they're going to fall back for the time being. Brother Halberd, man. He's attacking the Carnifex, but really should be focusing on those warriors. If he can pop those warriors, I hope Cowboy's paying attention. He might not be. Brother Captain getting very low here. He teleports out. Oh, everything needs to turn and fire. There we go. He didn't hit the retreat button. He's gonna die. Oh, but the Termagants turned away at just the last moment. It looks like the Brother Captain's gonna get ready. Oh no! Here comes another Hellfury Strike right on his head. Someone was frustrated. Atlas says, you know what? I've got this one. Let's drop a Hellfire Strike right on his face. Oh my gosh. Man, remember when this used to be pretty in the center and there were pillars and it's just craters now. Landraider Crusader just hanging out right in front of the base here. Venom Cannons trying to get back to the base. Oh no, but the Terminators teleport in. These Terminators have done some work. That squad is not getting out of there. And see, this is what I'm talking about, man. If Atlas just had a tank or something, he's got all this plasma to deal with the Terminators. Another Holocaust going down right there. Another Hell Fury Strike, not quite far forward enough. And man, just Valkyrie support everywhere. There's just Valkyries flying left and right this match. Valkyries and Thunderhawks. Lots of air support coming in. 85 to 176, though. Red team very much on the back foot at this stage in the game. With all that plasma, if he just had a Layman Russ on the field, he'd be able to do it. I don't know. 4 squads is, I think, too much. 3 squads of plasma, I'm totally okay with. I can see that working, but 4 is just a bit too spammy, and I don't think it's going to work. He doesn't have the variety of army strength he needs. He doesn't have that combined arms between infantry and tanks. A sail going down once again on these Terminators, and yeah, we're seeing this plasma obliterate. He's just taking huge chunks of health off these Terminators, but there's another squad already out here. We've got Paladins, we've got normal Terminators, we've got Vacations, 2 squads of Paladins, actually. And this Crusader is just refusing to yield. And why should it? There's not enough anti-vehicle to deal with it. There's the one Carnifex that's upgraded with the Thornback, so if it just kites around and allows these Terminators to get in on it, that's going to be all they can do. Very unfortunate for the red team because their army composition is just exactly what the Blues want to rip apart with those Terminators. Man, oh man. 3 squads of Terminators, not fun for the Reds at all. Brother Captain's still lying in his burning pit right there. Reaver down to next to nothing, man. Unfortunately, he's just lost so much at this point in the game. Atlas bringing out a heavy weapons squad, but I don't think that's going to do too much without any support. As soon as that thing sets up anywhere outside of the base, the Terminators are just going to roll right in and obliterate it. Yeah, I think Atlas has just made the wrong army choices, and I'm not sure that the red team's going to be able to recover at this point in the game. 50 points remaining, and they're ticking down. Another Termi goes down, but the blue team just has everything, and the red team's got nothing. Reaver has a lone Carnifex. Does have a Doom of Malantai coming out here, but I mean, that again I think is yet another example of a force multiplier, not an additive force. So without having much on the field, I think this thing's just going to get forced off as soon as it starts dropping fire into any of these squads. There's not much time. The red team has about enough time for one more push, maybe. They need to get out there. They need to force everything off. Yet another incendiary drop going down there. Oh, it's just been brutal. Man, this game has not stopped. It's just been constant action. That's what happens when the Landraiders get on the field, man. Just nothing falls back. Ooh. We've got a big, oh man, I forget what this, a Paroxysm or something like that, and then a Cataclysm following it up, but not quite enough time to save that Hive Tyrant. 14 points left. The red teams are nowhere near a catch. It looks like the Guardsmen are going to try to get in there, but man, they're just going to get obliterated by that level 4 Purgation squad. Oh! More Hellfire Strikes, completely obliterating the squad. They get annihilated. The GG is dropped by Atlas. The last few VPs tick away, and that's gonna be it for this game. And what a game it was. Oh man, that Land Raider Crusader. Oh, look at that sweet lens flare on that las cannon, about to blast away another shot into that injured Land Raider Crusader. Wouldn't be enough to finish it off, but that's just cool to see. Man, Carnifex in full retreat here. Oh, what a game, what a game. We can see, I mean, a lot of people feel, oh, Grey Knight Tier 3 is nothing but Terminator spam. But man, if there's anyone that can deal with it, I feel like it's Nids and Imperial Guard. They got so much plasma. They could have had those tanks on the field. Grey Knights have such a difficulty with dealing with tanks. But anyways, composition for the Reds didn't quite work out for them. Some bad choices made, despite having some great play early on. Especially those Sentinels. I love seeing those Sentinels do good, man. Anyways, you know me. I'm rambling. It's Red-Rupee. Follow me on all the things. Send me your replays. Comment on the videos. I love all you folks for watching. I'll be catching you guys next time.